in the middle of a free poker tournament, and I'm not doing too well. Not doing too well in a tournament is also today. Well, maybe it's okay vlogging like this with the in the old portrait mode. Yeah, I kind of started playing just on a whim. I was just feeling really not sure if I really wanted to kind of play a bit of poker, but I found myself just, I don't know if it's a thing of doing something, even though sometimes it could be training to play a tournament, just because it's sometimes concentration and things. But I woke up today, again, a bit of a disturbed sleep. I'm actually standing up playing on the counter right now because I just needed to. I know sometimes standing up can also change my energies and things, and my hip on my left side's been hurting. I'm not sure if it's because of my chair, because the chair's kind of, it's a it dips in. It sort of dips in. It's a low sort of sitting chair, and it kind of sort of slants in as well. So that's something. So yeah, I didn't get a good sleep last night, or great sleep. I felt quite tired in the morning, and I tried to almost try and sleep in for a bit, and it just, I think midway through trying to do that past my alarm, I was just thinking about tonight, and I didn't want to really affect my sleep for tonight, so it's kind of really pushed myself to get up, which was difficult. And yeah, I was feeling very similar to yesterday morning, like really confused and just not knowing what to do with myself. What would be, what would be good for me to do today? Everything was just so, so confusing. There's a few things like I had in my mind, like yesterday morning. Like again, I was thinking about food, what to do for food today. I was thinking about writing. I just got knocked out, which is probably a good thing. It's just kind of wasn't really too engaged. Let's close that down. Wondering if I should change it and put it in my tripod, or should I just continue vlogging? Maybe I'll continue as I am. Yeah, and it's strange because there's a judgmental voice in me that's saying, get on with stuff, do your exercise and don't just sort of sit around doing nothing. And I think there's an old voice, maybe a parental voice in my head saying, of course you're feeling this way, you're sitting around doing nothing, and of course that's really, not true. And it's quite, it's a very inaccurate sort of statement that someone can give you who's on the outside, especially sort of parental figure where they don't know. We have especially in my instance, doesn't feel like it's a huge understanding for mental health and how things are. But that voice still sort of persists a little bit, and I had a difficult moment of food yesterday. It was the day before. I forgot to even mention yesterday. I ordered some pizza. And I did it for delivery, meaning I had to kind of get more than one to make it like valuable or affordable in terms of meeting a deal. And I did well in regards to not sort of binging. I ended up freezing, I had a good amount that day, but then I froze portions of it that I'm now ruminating about right now, about that's in my freezer. And I'm thinking in the future it's best not to even do that, just to kind of, if I want to have a meal that's not as healthy, then perhaps I can just kind of get enough for that day, so there's no temptation to have it later. So I'm kind of thinking about that. I'm thinking about maybe getting some groceries, probably not today, but just thinking about like a lunch idea I was thinking of maybe like a wrap, like having some rice, some black beans in there, and some chopped vegetables, and have that for a few days to give a break from sandwiches and stuff. And that was just kind of thinking about that, a potential recipe for lunch that I could have for a few days. I'm going to need to go out and get some of the ingredients for that and see how that goes. But so yes, there's lots of kind of things going around in my head, but it just feels like it's kind of swimming around really, and I'm just not able to get traction on the day. I feel like I'm just floating around. One thing I did yesterday was I did record a video for the other channel, for the movie review channel. Sometimes I haven't done it in a while, but there was a sense of wanting to be productive in some way, and I thought the series I'm watching, I thought I could, create a little video about it, discussing my thoughts about it so far, and then that became a little stressful, because after I recorded it and I was watching the other episodes, I was which is one of the reasons why I stopped doing it so often. It just felt like a bit stressful to watch, like I have to watch with a critical eye, to critique it afterwards and talk about it. And I kind of wanted the review videos to be fun and, not having to be rigid, just sharing my opinion of thoughts about stuff, and in whatever non-linear way, without having to be like a sort of, and I've talked about this like most of my stuff, or, repeating myself. I've talked about this before, about the stress of doing that, which is why I stopped before. But I kind of forgot, and I just wanted to do something that seemed fun, and that seemed like I was doing something in my day. I've got a couple of episodes of that series left, which I may try and watch and just finish doing another video about it, and perhaps to try and do it in a way where it's not stressful. That might be good. I wasn't able to shower this morning. My skin's been quite irritable. I suffer from, I guess, sensitive skin, where I get heat rash as well. So the soap I'm using, it's supposed to be a sensitive skin soap, but it's not like it's not like a really expensive one. So this morning I kind of went online to order some different sensitive like body soap I can use. It will hopefully be better for my skin. So I kind of ordered that, which took a bit of time and energy to do this morning. Yeah, and it's just kind of midday-ish now. It's just gone past midday, and I'm just feeling very everything's just a bit all over the place in my mind, more so today than usual. Feeling a bit disorientated as well. Like even to play this sort of poker game, it was just a reaction to feeling this way and, needing to do something. And maybe it was a good thing because it got me sort of standing up at least, and for a time I was engaged and focused and playing and, getting the wheels turning in my mind. It's a nice day today. It might be good for me to get out, and I was just trying to think about whether to, watch the 2 episodes and do a recording and then try and get out. But I think they're like an hour long, and maybe that will be. Skin's itching already, actually, on my neck. There's like a little area in the back of my neck that's been more irritable than recently. So sometimes kind of deciding and planning things, it seems like it's too much for me to try and figure out, like whether I should go for a walk now, or would I be okay, watching the episode and recording and then going for a walk, which would probably be late afternoon, which would probably be a bit difficult. But just to kind of do that calculation, it takes a lot of energy for me to do. And then, even just, okay, then ruling that out and thinking, okay, let's go for a walk now. It feels like I have to go through this meandering of thoughts and convincing myself, motivating, or to get myself outside. I don't know what it is. There's something, maybe in the mood I'm in now, I feel like kind of hibernating. Everything's really difficult. And so to go outside sometimes can feel like a really big deal, a really sort of heavy, big task to do. And it's not the case where I can just force myself to do it, because it feels like there's lots of pain going on right now, and the last thing I want to do is make it worse, which will probably magnify the disorientation and everything else. So, for example, I could force myself to go outside now, but without sort of leaving in a relaxed way, in a way that, okay, I'm consciously going outside, and I don't know the word to use, but I feel safe maybe to do that. And if I don't do that, then it feels like sometimes there can often be consequences, mental health consequences of that, of pushing myself and then that relaying to the next day. So, and what's confusing sometimes is when, in the past, when I have pushed myself, I felt better for it, but other times when I've done it, I felt very disorientated, and it's been a negative consequence. So when I'm feeling this way, it's a lot easier to side with not risking that. And so, like right now, for example, maybe uploading this vlog might help a little bit, going outside. But it feels like I need an incentive or something to get me there, really. Because it just feels like painful to do right now, so I feel like I need something to offset the pain. Like uploading this vlog, it seems like it has a certain effect. Some days it's more so than others. Other days it has no effect, and I feel like I still can't get outside, even though, and I don't, care about uploading this. So on other days, it's a big motivator to upload this or a podcast episode or anything else that I've recorded. So I need to sort of dial into that a little bit. If this is enough for me to take a walk. So just wanted to kind of mostly just check in regards to how I'm feeling right now. So that's what's going on. I haven't eaten yet as well, so that's not something I need to really try to get back into a routine of. I think it's strange. I think maybe having like some like the pizza frozen in my I was about to say the pizza frozen in my oven, which of course makes no sense. The pizza that's in the freezer, I think it's just maybe offsetting everything. It's like it feels like I need to. I've had this in the past with binge eating, that I need to like either sort of deal with it in a sense, either throw it away or eat as what I can of it and then get rid of it, sort of thing. Like having it around, it's almost like I can't start in like a clean slate of okay, let's eat healthy for a few days, and it feels like having it there, it's blocking me doing that. So it's strange. It's the difficult thing is it's hard to all these little analysis, all this analysis stuff. It's hard to kind of gather it up and look at a bird's eye view, and because of my sort of thought processes and tracking one thought to another and gathering like a conclusion, that whole capability has been reduced quite a lot. I think one thing about repeating myself is probably because things are so severe or feel that way, that it feels like I constantly need to like self-validate, which is, it feels like a healthy thing to do, because it's not like I'm doing it in a way where I'm complaining about it, and or so much at least I'm not doing, and then feeling that deep emotion that it shouldn't be this way, but it's more so just trying to keep myself sane with, okay, this is what's currently going on now, and to analyze and to see how things are in this moment gives a bit of sanity, whether it's me repeating myself, every vlog, which is okay. It's, the whole purpose of this is to try and help in my, if I should use the word sanity, because it's quite a heavy word, but it's almost, I guess, feels that way at this point. Anything else I want to say? Yeah, maybe just to acknowledge how I'm feeling now and realizing, okay, I need to really, these are the times when you need to really sort of be sort of compassionate, and I use the word gentle. I think that's quite getting a more and more important word for me to use, because it's so easy to be harsh and to think, okay, just get on with stuff and get myself into gear and do like a task or something, when really it's kind of understanding the circumstances that I'm sort of dealing with, which is I'm not always able to see that, because when I'm in something, it's so tough to see, okay, am I being too hard on myself? Am I, not pushing myself enough is another common sort of thought process as well. But right now, maybe it's fair to say that I'm not doing too good today, so it's perhaps wise to be gentle and to take, don't know how to express it, but really manage the next 5 minutes, and then take 5 minutes at a time, or a task at a time, if that's easier for me. Like, for example, going to walk in a park, just sort of, okay, this is all I'm doing right now, not worrying about what happens afterwards. And it feels like one of those days where I need to kind of zoom in to make the sort of what's the word? Begins with P. Parameters. That's what I was looking at. It's like a game show in my head. Parameters, yeah, kind of narrowing the parameters of time to make it more manageable, where on some days I can think, several hours in advance. But quite often now the parameters are narrowing, where like now it's probably it's most severe, where, okay, you only manage a few minutes at a time, a small task at a time. So So okay, I'm glad I recorded something just to check in. I think it just helps even to take off a little bit of the stress, just to talk about, and even though it's currently right now it seems like similar sort of things are being experienced and said, which is, again, it's okay. It's I think that's it for this one. I'm just going to continue those kind of intentions for the rest of the day, and hopefully that will help a little bit, just to try and be compassionate and gentle for the rest of the afternoon and evening. That's the plan.